Welcome back everybody to episode 33 in our F1 Manager career mode, role-playing as Dario Franchitti, being the boss of AlphaTauri. We have the British Grand Prix up today, and there is a lot we can do between now and Silverstone. As you can see, the aerodynamic testing period has started today. We have a design being completed for our suspension tomorrow, so we should be able to get some of those put on the car in time for the British Grand Prix. And then we just got to figure out what we want to build. Do we want to do more research for next year's car, or do we want to focus on this year's car, since we have a pretty decent lead in the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship at the moment, and we are getting close to halfway through the season. I'm thinking we probably do some design work to try and make our car better. If you look at where we are at right now, we're not too bad. 5th, 7th, 4th, 7th, 3rd, 5th, 9th, 5th, 7th, 5th. And then brake cooling and engine cooling, we are pretty terrible right now. The issue is the biggest part of the car that will jump these up, I believe, is the under tray, and that takes a lot of time to develop. So I don't know if we should try and do something that's quick to try and give us like little boosts as the season go along, or if we should maybe do a big chunk right now. If you have a look at our research projects, we have done a underfloor, we've done a side pod, and that is it. So we got chassis, front and rear wing, and suspension to do. So I'm thinking right now we're probably going to do the front and rear wing. Actually, no. I think right now what we're going to do is the rear wing and a chassis, and maybe we design a front wing, because that's what it reckons our front wing would do, right? We go from 3rd to 1st, 7th to 5th, 9th and 9th to 5th, and then 9th to 5th on the airflow sensitivity, and 7th to 3rd on the airflow front. But it also gives us a little bit of a boost for brake cooling. So I'm thinking we're going to do a front wing, and then for the research projects we will do a chassis and rear wing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll probably also skip a day ahead because that's when our suspension comes through, and that will enable us to build or research our third part that we're looking for. So I'm going to skip ahead, and I'll catch you at the car projects screen. Alright, so this is what we are having on the go. In the end I decided to go with a new underfloor. It'll take up the entirety of the ATR period, which is fine. We're not putting much into it, as you can see. We're only putting 0.6 of the fluid dynamics hours and 10 wind tunnel hours into it. It's the same story for the chassis, 0.6 and 10, and then we will put in 11 hours for the front wing, and then the rest of it into the design, or the research project, sorry, for the chassis. The other one, as you can see, we're doing a rear wing research, and then when that's done we will do a chassis research project, and that will leave just the front wing and I think the suspension to go, or it might be the side pods, front wing and side pods probably, to go in our research for next year, and then everything will have at least one thing. But yeah, I figured the chassis first, because then once that's done there's not going to be any problem with trying to do a chassis research project and overlap in time, so that's why we're doing the chassis first. And then we'll do a front wing, and that'll take us to the end of that aerodynamic testing period. So we'll be doing essentially 5 things, which is fine. I don't have any problem doing that. Here's a screen that we haven't actually been into. It's the projected cost cap spending. And as you can see, we've currently spent 76.5 million of our 141 million allocation. And they're projecting that we're only going to spend another 15. I think that's probably going to go up, but I don't believe it's going to go beyond the cap. So I don't think we'll be in any trouble there. So I don't think there is much else going on until we get to Silverstone, but I will obviously pause the sim if there actually is something critical that you guys should see. Otherwise, I'll catch you in Britain.
We're here in legendary Silverstone, where the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix was held back in 1950. It's a place where every tuft of grass breathes motorsport, and the crowd are already crackling with excitement. Silverstone demands a lot of power from cars, with numerous twists and historic turns. Downforce is going to be a key factor to manage if teams want to succeed here. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get this underway.
Looks like we could be in for a cloudy race, but both Friday and Saturday look pretty dang nice. I'll catch you after practice.
Ready to check, okay. They should be green now.
We've just had a spin. Let's see what happened there. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi. Look at that! They've spun their car. Sounds like we've had a spin. We can take a look now. Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda. And there it is. That's where they spin out. Let's have a look. Now we see the Williams here. They've spun the car. What a disaster. We'll be kicking off today with the final practice before moving on to the qualifying sessions. Practice 3 affords the teams one final opportunity to tweak their setups as the drivers get to grips with the tracks every turn. Once they reach qualifying, there simply won't be time to think twice. Drivers will need to outdo one another if they're to climb their way up the grid and secure themselves a solid starting position for tomorrow's race. Stay with us as we see who can deliver on motorsport's biggest stage.
So at the end of all 3 practice sessions, we had a pretty good day. All up, we were 1-2 in all 3 sessions. Not a lot of incidents. I think in practice 1, Mick Schumacher had a couple of spins, and I believe it was Yuki Tsunoda had a spin in his McLaren. Practice 2 was uneventful. There might have been a couple people running wide, but nothing to write home about. And in practice 3, the only incident really was late on. Pierre Gasly locked his brakes and skidded on at turn 2, I think it was. But other than that, a pretty tame practice for the entire field. So practice 3 was pretty close. As you can see, Verstappen's less than 2/10 behind there. Whereas in practice 1 and practice 2, we basically had half a second on the field. So we'll see how qualifying goes. We did have old parts in the car, so hopefully fresher components will make the difference. I'll catch you after qualifying. The end of qualifying 1, and both our drivers are safely through. Pierre got caught up pretty badly in traffic. I thought he was going to make it before the rest of the field came out for their final run, but he missed it by about 3 cars. So he had to deal with a bit of traffic on his lap, whereas Ricciardo did not. But doesn't really matter, they are both safely through, which is the main thing. 46.4 for Verstappen, that's very rapid. The 5 that missed out, you got both Williams, both Aston Martins, and Latifi in the Haas. So both McLarens make it through this time. I wonder if they brought some upgrades. We'll see if Pierre can get a clear run through qualifying 2. I'll see you at the end of it. So the end of qualifying 2, and we did get a clean run in for Pierre. As you can see, we did 2 runs, one at the start of the session, then one right at the end. And we are about 4/10 off the pole setting pace at this stage of Max Verstappen. Didn't improve on his qualifying 1 time there, 100th slower. But it's a Noah's Ark effect, hey? You got 2 Red Bulls, 2 Ferraris, 2 AlphaTauris, 2 Mercs. And then Bottas ruins it by beating out both the Alpines there. So one Alpine makes it through in Ocon and the other misses out. Apart from Alonso, you got Norris, Vettel, Magnussen and Tsunoda being the 5 who miss out the top 10 shootout. We are in, and it looks like we could be maybe on a similar pace with the Ferraris if we can find enough time. Let's find out, eh? Okay, so as expected at the end of qualifying, it is the front 4 teams are the front 4 teams. The 2 Red Bulls have the front row, the 2 Ferraris on row 2. We lock out row 3, and then the Mercedes on row 4, with Bottas and Esteban Ocon rounding out the top 10. Pretty good effort from our boys there. They managed to find about half a tenth, or both of them. All in all, pretty happy with that qualifying session. So once again, it's going to depend on what we do for the race in terms of strategy.
The time has come for these drivers to fight it out wheel to wheel. Race day has arrived.
AlphaTauri did rather well in qualifying. Let's see if they can manage to achieve a strong start for the race itself. The work Red Bull did during qualifying was nothing short of spectacular. Now let's see if they can repeat that for today's race. The weather is very overcast here, and teams are staring at the sky watching for the first sign of rain. Strategies might have to be quite flexible going into today's race.
This is sure to be quite the spectacle then, and we've got a front row seat for today's race here at Silverstone.
So we're just looking at the track, and despite what Karen Chandok said, it looks like there's no rain. It starts off overcast, then gets a little bit sunny, and then goes back to overcast again, but no rain. The strategy that I'm thinking of going on to is starting on the softs and switching to the hards or the mediums. I'm not sure if the mediums will be able to make it, so we might have to be a little bit flexible with that, but that's my plan. Start on the softs and then go to either the hards or the mediums. The only thing that could potentially throw a spanner in the works here for us is if we're one of the only ones on the softs. Because while we would have the tyre advantage, the medium tyre would be better suited.
It's a somewhat overcast day for the drivers, who've now taken position on the grid. looking at the Alpha Tauri. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. The second Alpha Tauri driver there. With a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. The race start is mere seconds away. Anticipation is high, and the drivers are ready for this. The British Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
See a lot of medium tyres. I think that might have been the right call. Yeah, everyone's on mediums except the Haas's, who are on hards. Okay, that's fine then. You know what, I'm going to go back to standard for this right now. We'll see what we can do. Pierre gets around Carlos. There's a look at Leclerc. Can't manage it. Okay, so you know what? We're going to go neutral, I think, on the energy. See if we can save any. Yeah, just looking at that wear on this from the soft to the hard, we might have been struggling to try and make it on one stop. And I don't really want to be in the pit lane twice here. It's a very long pit lane. So, not a whole lot of drop off either. I think from the hards to the soft is like half a second or something, 0.8 maybe. So yeah, I just don't think there's much point in doing what we originally were going to do. So we'll go with the medium hard, stopping once, and seeing what we can do from there. Someone has spun already.
Sounds like we've had a spin. Here's the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. Look at that! They've spun their car.
So we're just going to chill for a while, I think, and see what we can do in the draft. Should be able to save a bit of energy, or not expend as much. Bottas is already out of DRS range, so that's good. Top 7 are line astern as we complete lap 2.
DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled.
We're gonna have to watch the gaps as well, because that's usually the problem we have. See, Leclerc is starting to drop away a little bit from the 2 Red Bulls now.
We've just had a spin. Let's take a closer look. Now watch this. Here's Alonso's car. And yes, that's where they spin out.
They're on lap 8. And now Russell is 6 seconds behind, so he is dropping back pretty bad. We are just chilling and doing pretty good. Sector 2 yellow flag again.
Oh, we've had a spin. Let's have a look. Right, watch this. There's Schumacher. And there it is. That's where they spin out.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we can get to about lap 25, I think we're looking pretty good. We might even be able to do about halfway through the race, maybe. I still want to get to like lap 25 or so. Sainz is in and is going to be stuck behind Norris and Vettel. Verstappen's in, that's early, lap 17. They're going to have to two-stop. They are going to have to two-stop. Well, that's an interesting one. Hamilton's in next lap. Okay, this is interesting. I'm going to tell Ricciardo to do not fight, teammate. And I think we're just going to get dragged along here by Sergio. I think that's probably the easiest thing to do. George is in. Yeah, that's real early. Did they go into hards? They did. Alright. Interesting decision there.
Oh, there's a spin! We can take a look now. Now just focus on the Haas. And this, yes, this is where they spun out.
Alright, so Perez is in. Max is lopped off around a second. So I think now we're going to tell our guys to be a little aggressive on the tyres. I don't know where Sergio is going to come out. We'll find out, I guess. We'll watch his stop. If he comes out in clean air, we're going to pit this time. Going to be behind Leclerc by the looks of it. Behind Leclerc, in front of Sainz and Lewis. We're right on him. Okay. So, I'm going to tell Pierre to go aggressive.
We can push a bit more if you can.
And use up some deployment. Try and get a decent lap in. Drag Ricciardo along with him if you can. Because of course Ricciardo's got DRS, so... Yeah, so we are going to pit Pierre this time by.
Box.
Oh, missed it. Okay, now we're going to tell Ricciardo to deploy and aggression. And it doesn't matter about teammate right now.
Use energy if you need it, use energy.
Roger.
And we'll see where Pierre comes out. He should be around Perez, who's fighting away with Sainz and Lewis. See how good this lap was. He might have jumped him. He has. Not quite. He is with him, so we are going to go standard on that.
Yeah, take it easy.
Copy.
Okay, he's out of energy, so we're going to have to go neutral for that. We're going to tell him to pit this time by.
Okay, box.
Okay, box confirmed.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Verstappen and Leclerc are going to be able to do anything in terms of
Manual pit lane.
making those hards last. I think they're going to have to pit again.
Just pit limiter. Manual pit limiter.
So maybe starting on the mediums was the right call for us, so that late change, where I said we were going to start on the softs and then decided, nah, we'll go the hards, or the mediums, sorry. Might have been the right call. In comes Danny Rick, 2.9. A little slow, but not terrible. And he is with them as well. So we're in the DRS train, both our guys. So I'm going to tell Ricardo, don't fight teammate right now.
Single yellow. Okay.
Here's the replay. Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris. That looked like a very nasty spin.
Perez is caught up to Charles. Charles. We have 80% tires for both of them, so I'm going to go back to that.
Back up.
20 laps to go. Needs to get around him. Oh, he does. He's got the inside now. He's lost a couple seconds to Sergio, though. Okay, so now that is on that, so we'll go neutral for him. And hopefully he can stay in front of Carlos. What are the tyres like? Verstappen's got 64%. He should be able to make that stick, but we'll see. Wonder if that lapped traffic there of Zhou Guan Yu got in the way. Verstappen's in. They're all in. Interesting. 10 seconds. Okay. 15 laps. There goes Leclerc.
Spin. Let's see what happened there. Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The car's just gone.
Verstappen's got 2 cars to deal with before he gets to us. A Haas and an Aston Martin. And we got 9 laps to go. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything down here. No, there goes Max. We'll switch it on overtake, see what we can do here. But I don't think we're going to be able to do anything, so I'm going to go back to standard because we don't want to run out of tyre here. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything. We'll go aggressive on the engine though. That was a crash. BSC, safety car.
Virtual safety car, slow down. Okay.
Alright, virtual safety car, that's going to help us.
No DRS.
Let's watch the replay.
We can take a look now.
Great replay. Oh, there we go. Oh. That was Leclerc. Okay, so we've got 5 laps to go. We're going to tell conserve and all that good stuff. There's no real point in pitting. If it was a safety car, a full-on safety car, we would definitely pit, because it'd bunch the field up, but right now we got a decent gap. So I wonder if Leclerc's going to pit here. How much damage has he got?
5 to go.
He's missing half his front wing. He is in. Oh, he's missing his right half of the front wing, and the Haas is missing the left. Alright. So they're in. We'll see if he jumps the Haas. New front wing insta spawn. Latifi. He's going to jump him, I think. And he does. Latifi is still stuck there. There he goes. Okay. We'll go back to Ricciardo right now. So this, of course, helps Pierre, because he doesn't have to fend off Max for an extra lap or two. Remember back to San Marino, we were able to do this. Hold off Verstappen on the medium compound tyre, wherein we were on the hards. Different track, of course, different race situation. Virtual safety car is ending soon. So we will go back to
Virtual safety car is
neutral, push, and standard for everything. So it should be good on tyres now. Okay, I'm going to tell him to hold cars behind.
Let's make sure we keep them behind.
Copy.
Be 3 to go.
Yeah.
I think Max is already there though. He is. I'm going to tell him to overtake.
Use
Okay, that didn't last very long, did it?
Copy.
Alright, what can Max do? He's got 3 laps essentially, and 4.5 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. But, you know what, let's go overtake for Ricciardo as well. Yeah, if Verstappen can pull this off, this will be very impressive. Because usually 2 stops around here is a death sentence. He's cut it down to 3 seconds, just about. But this is the last lap, so, or going to be the last lap, so I don't think he's going to be able to do it unless there's some team orders in play. Verstappen is higher up in the championship, so there is a chance, but we will get our race bonus for gaining at least a place for both drivers in the race. So I will settle for 3rd and 4th. Decent day. So let's watch Sergio Perez here as he comes up to the last left-right to take the checkered flag. Good job, Sergio. Well done, buddy. Pierre's going to get 3rd, 5 seconds behind Max, and then Ricciardo trails his teammate by a couple seconds.
checkered flag.
So the 2 Red Bulls get a 1-2,
Well done.
2 AlphaTauris 3rd and 4th.
Take the pickup.
Sainz finishes 5th. Hamilton will get the final point in the 6th,
Brilliant. Brilliant.
and Leclerc had a bit of a disaster there
Get lots of pickup.
towards the end. Pretty happy overall. We'll cut to the end of race.
Well, this weekend, Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars. Everyone involved in Formula One dreams of seeing their driver up there on the podium. The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here. But remember, it's not just about today's trophies, it's the points that can make all the difference. I think AlphaTauri will be very pleased with that result.
This was an extremely convincing race for them. They're one impressive team, and they deserve to celebrate this properly.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
Next time, the teams will be forging ahead at full throttle through the Styrian forest. The Austrian Grand Prix is right around the corner.
So there you go. Perez, Verstappen, Gasly, your podium. Ricciardo, Sainz, Hamilton round out the points. Leclerc P7, Russell 8th. Ocon 9th and Bottas P10 for Alfa Romeo. Alonso gets P11 in the other Alpine, followed by Vettel in the other Alfa Romeo. K-Mag brings his Haas home in P13, followed by Yuki, who beat out his teammate there, Lando, 14th and 15th for the McLaren duo. Albon P16 for Aston Martin, Stroll 17th for Williams. Zhou Guanyu 18th in the other Aston, Latifi 19th in the Haas, and Mick Schumacher rounds out the field. Drivers' Championship. Pierre loses 2 points to Verstappen, so the gap is now 13. Ricciardo loses 7 points to Perez there, and Perez actually jumps Leclerc. He's now P4 in the points, 6 behind Ricciardo. Leclerc's 5th, Hamilton, Sainz, and Alonso are 6th, 7th, and 8th, and Russell is 9th in the other Mercedes. So just 9 people have scored points. I don't think that's changed since Miami, when Alonso got that podium. Constructors wise, Red Bull gain 9 points on us overall. The gap is 19 points. Ferrari gain a point on Mercedes, but looks like they're pretty firmly entrenched in P3 there, with Mercedes P4. So I think the fight is going to be between us and Red Bull. The question is going to be, can we get or keep enough upgrades on our car to pull this thing off? Hopefully we can. Money-wise, we gained nearly 5 million there, a very successful weekend. I think we had a couple of our performance bonuses paid out for, I think the qualifying one finished this weekend. And I don't know if there was another one there. Actually, we might be able to see. No, it doesn't break it down, does it? Performance incentives, here we go. Yeah, finish position streak got paid out, as did our qualifying, as did our finish position there. For performance guarantee, we paid out as well. Position gain in the race, we reached qualifying too, and we had a good performance in qualifying. So a very successful day there, nearly 5 mil banked. Let's head back to HQ. There you go, the weather center refurbishment has been finished as well. Got a red email. Oh, new regulation vote as well, fair enough. The board is still happy with us, saying their confidence in us has grown a bit after a real good race. So what is this regulation for? As you know, we may change the regs that define F1's rules between seasons to make the sport fairer for competitors and more engaging for fans. These goals in mind, we are proposing new sporting regulations. For 2024, we believe that a higher limit to engine, ERS and gearbox car parts will reduce the number of powertrain failures and penalties. Please see the below breakdown of these changes before voting. As always, we ask that you vote with the fairness and future of F1 as a whole in mind. So they're asking to go up by 1 on everything. That would mean no penalties. Yeah, we'll vote for that, sure, why not? Then we won't have to buy another one, so that's fine. We'll vote for that one. I don't think we'll see that for a couple of episodes though, because it usually takes about a week for that to pop through. So we got nothing until Austria, which will be the next episode, so join us then. For the Austrian Grand Prix was our first podium in this series in Season 1. Hopefully we can do a couple better this time and get both boys on the podium. Preferably first and second, that'd be a real good day for us. But we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching everybody, and tune in next time. Thanks for watching everybody. If you liked the video, you can hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you want to leave a comment, go right ahead. This is Mystic Tez signing off. See you later.